Hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, which means it's Soul Sunday time. And I hope you've had a wonderful weekend wherever you are in the world. Today, as you know, on Soul Sunday, we just slow down a bit, get ourselves prepared for the coming week. And we all love to do that together. And we are so happy that you are here to join us. If you're here for the first time, feel free just to listen in if that's what you'd like to do. If you want to join in the chat, understand that I do disable the chat normally within the hour after the broadcast is finished. But the words that I say continue. They stay on the replay. So if there's anything that you put up in the chat that you'd rather I didn't mention in the replay, then just put there, Sal, don't repeat, so that I know not to do that. Hang on a second. I just want to get this organized a bit better here. Hi, Nade. So wonderful to see you. Big hug. I'm looking at an interesting week this week, and I thought what we'd talk about a bit. Hi, Sandy. What I thought we'd talk about a bit today is the advantages, the upside of slowing down. I find it really interesting. You know, my sister wrote to me this week and she was saying she used to do so much. Hi, Edith. She used to do so much, but now she's noticed since the lockdown, the amount she can do, is becoming less and less. And I wonder, hi, Jared, I wonder if any of you have noticed that as well, that by being forced into lockdown has slowed you down, and maybe, just maybe, the speed that you slow down to is actually your natural speed as opposed to your false speed. So I just wanted to make sure that you all gave that a little bit of thought. My other thing that I wanted to do, my question of the day is, I wonder how many of you are still getting frustrated because you're wearing a mask and other people are not. And if you are, I just want to give you one little bit of consideration. Let me put it that way. I wonder how many of you are grateful to live in a country where you have freedom. Because the alternative to this whole wear a mask, don't wear a mask thing, I guess, if you really think about it to the nth degree, would be that you live in a country where they come out with the guns and say, if you're not wearing a mask, you're dead. You know what I mean? It's just like, how did they do it in China? Is that what you want? Where you're not allowed out at all? It's just like, think about that. We've got to somehow or other come to a compromise here. And that, I think, if you can understand that, if when you get frustrated about why aren't they wearing a mask, I am, then just go, but I am free. I live in a free society and I am grateful for that. And in a way, I have the pleasure of that and I pay the price of that. Does that make sense to anybody? Now, I assure you that I mentioned it on the broadcast on Friday, that, my eyes rolled like one-armed bandits, at the casino, when I saw that there were 250,000 people going to Sturgis for the motorcycle rally, and that they'd all be returning home. By the way, all not wearing masks, and then returning home to their various communities. So be prepared, not scared, people. It's going to get a lot worse. And for those of you who are probably watching me right now and going, look at that glow. I know how she does that. Thank you for joining me on the broadcast. I will be putting that little segment into a separate video so that if you just want to see that, but you don't have to search through the big one. For those of you who are going, I didn't see that. And so it's really, to me, it's really fascinating that, you won't be able to, you can think that, and then you'll start to smile and go, I know exactly how she did that. And it wasn't very difficult, was it? And you know something? You guys taught me that. If you're not necessarily you guys, but DearMamaSal viewers taught me that. I remember that we did a broadcast where everybody taught me how to contour. And actually, this is, as you all know, this is not real contouring because I only put the glow stuff on. I don't put this stuff on anymore and all the other stuff. I just know it's enough. And at my age, less is more, and that's what I believe. And I am happy to be, as I said, the way that I am. And whoever it was that said, I'm going to start using that Lubriderm because if Mama Sal's got a skin like that, I'm about to be 73 next 2 weeks' time. It's just like, I'm going to use it as well. I just do want to mention, I use the cocoa butter one. I don't know if it makes a blind bit of difference, but that is the one that I use, the one with cocoa butter. And I still think that my skin looks better today than it did 40 years ago. So I'm really happy with it. I'm going, why would I spend any more money than that? It does the job beautifully for me. Now I just wish it would. Yeah, never mind. All right, here we go. Let's balance back again. Nicholas Sparks said, strange what being forced to slow down can do to a person. So let me ask you, what have you noticed has changed in your life over the last few months? In what way has the lockdown and the pandemic generally changed your life? And I was thinking about, I have become, I'm actually, strangely enough, spending more money, not less, because I'm trying to, as you know, I'm trying to be more and more prepared for the prices going up and things. And I also wanted to tell you that I sometimes wonder whether I'm making the right decisions. I'm still doing some research because this is the sort of thing I get up to while you're not watching me, right? I need to take, this sort of orange powder stuff. I'm going to call it that. But what I decided to do some months ago, probably a year ago, was to buy the generic version of it. That's fine. And then I was looking at this week. This is where I'm changing, and I'm going, I know what's in there. That's psyllium husk in there. And that's what it is, right? It's psyllium husk, Sal. So guess what I bought this week? And I'm going, but it won't taste of orange. And I'm going, I can fix that. And you're saying, how are you going to fix that, Sal? Well, I got two choices. I can either buy orange flavoring on my next shopping order, or I can just start zesting my oranges when I eat them and dry that zest and add that in. Now, I'm not even sure if I'm saving money yet. I'll let you know, of course, when I've worked it all out. But that's what I notice. I'm really changing. And I got a light up here that I don't want to be looking straight into, and it's falling down. All right, so Jody's saying the pandemic has caused an increase in my anxiety, but also allowed me an opportunity to continue improving my skills in dealing with fear. Yes, being prepared, not scared, was such a help. Well, I am delighted that, you guys have found that helpful. And, I will continue to talk about that, because I do honestly believe that the more we talk about it, the less scary it's going to be. Things are going to happen. You're going to go, yeah, we were talking about that 3 months ago. We already got that one covered. And, to me, that would be so exciting if that's how you're dealing with it. And I want to tell you, was it Isabel that asked me, or was it Sandy that asked me about the bread? I know that one of you wants me to make bread, and the other one, I believe, hi Jeannie, the other one, I believe, wanted me to do low carb bread. And I found a great recipe that I'm going to try. I'm going to show you how I do my daily bread. Oh, and I got such a cute rats. Rats. I have this really cute picture that I was going to show you. I need my phone, which I thought I brought with me. Just hang on one second, everybody. We can do this. And what I love about Jody is that Jody knows exactly why I wanted to go for my phone. I wanted to show you guys this picture of the bread that I cooked yesterday. Can you see it with the heart on it? And any of you going, how did you do that, Sal? Because I could tell you. Thank you, Jody, for sending it to me. I appreciate that. It saved me looking. Yeah, she's so clairvoyant. I got it. Take that light back up. Can you see it's falling down again? Yes, the low carb bread was for Isabel. Isabel, I found an incredible recipe for like a low carb French bread, that you can make. It's probably going to do it again. I'm going to make plan B on that one. That you can make low carb French bread that you can make into garlic bread. Obviously, I can't because I'm allergic to garlic. But yeah, please. Okay, you want to know how I did that? All right, quite simple. Let me show you. Hang on. Had to find them. I have these little doodads that you can put over your coffee, over your coffee foam, and make pretty pictures, right? So this is obviously a shamrock, and this is a clown's face. Most people are scared of clowns, so what's the point? But one of them happens to be a heart. And so all I did, Jody, was when I made my little mini bread for the day, that lasts me for 2 days, I put this on top and I just sprinkled some flour over the area of the heart. Makes sense? I just put the flour in here. So then I took it off, and guess what? The shape of the heart was there. And I literally took a pair of scissors and I literally, in little marks, going down quite a way. When I say quite a way, probably a quarter of an inch down, with a sharp pair of scissors, just traced around the heart. And then and then you can still see the flour on there, right? Some of the flour. And then as it rose even more in the oven, it separated out like that. You knew it couldn't be that difficult, Jody. Sal did it, right? But I also knew, Jody, that you would love it. And I knew you were asleep when I did it. And I thought, I'm going to send it anyway. And she can wake up and see it whenever. So I am also, as you know, somebody who amuses herself a lot. And, that gave me great pleasure to do at some unearthly hour of the morning. I think it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I put that up. So, it was just, all right. So 2 of you. All right. So Sandy's saying she wants the low carb too. Also read my comment above. Oh, Sal, where did you buy that bag? Is it powdered or ground? It's a low carb recipe for bread, using it online. Yes, there is. And that's the one I'm going to be doing, is using this as well. This actually is pretty finely ground, but I am planning to put it into my magic bullet and grind it down even more to use it in I use it in my milkshakes. What I call my breakfast shake. I put, what do I put in my breakfast shake? Some of this, some, I've got to think here, some flaxseed, almond milk, and sometimes some fruit, and just blend it all up. And it is, oh, and sometimes I'll put oatmeal, just oats. I'll grind up oats until they're like that, and then put that all in together, and it makes a really nice shake. But I know it's got lots of fiber in it. and my earbuds fall out if I'm not careful. So in the ways that, life is changing for you, have any of you found that you have slowed down and feeling guilty about that? Jody's saying, I woke up to that picture and smiled. Yeah, that was my intent. I knew that you would love it for 2 reasons. I knew you would love the message in it, the heart, but I also knew that you, as a baker, would go, how did she do that? But to me, it's like, what a simple thing to do. So Jody, you could even cut it out of a piece of cardboard or something and have it, I just happen to have it in plastic, or even cut it out of, what I would do, Jody? The next plastic bottle, you know what I mean? With whatever you've got in plastic bottles, I'm finding that if you cut those up, they are remarkably useful for markers, for my plants, for whatever. The inside is obviously does not have printing on it. And I saw that somewhere on a hack, and I thought, boy, I need to start doing that, because I still have to buy some things in plastic bottles, but I would rather use them. So think about the next time you're going to throw a plastic bottle out, Jody, think about, if I wash that really well, if I washed it really well, could I cut one of those hearts out of that and do what Sal did on the bread? And I bet you can. And then all you need is a sharp pair of scissors. So there you go. That's the reuse part of today's broadcast. How's that? Sometimes I think there are only 2 instructions we need to follow to develop and deepen our spiritual life. Slow down and let go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my biggest problem is the letting go. I'm slowing down on the one. Hi, Beth. And yeah, sure. That was nearly very nasty, people. I'm trying to get some support for my back, and it's not working very well at the moment. Hang on. Let me move these. There we go. So, I found I'm slowing down, and that's frustrating me because I'm not getting as much done. So I can't let go as well. I'm choosing not to let go. So, I either have to stay speeding up a bit more, or I need to let go. I can't have it both ways. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's typically me, right? I want to have both, and I can't. And how about this one? I thought this was cute. LSD stands for learning to slow down. I do think we've got to relearn it, right? We've been so sped up for so long. And Beth, I'm thinking about you taking on that manager's job again. You're going to be the Energizer Bunny all over again. And, my heart Yeah, we're here for you, Beth. Whenever you need to vent, we're here for you. I just need you to know that, because I know part of um, your I remember part of your process when you were a manager before. You gave it up, and you gave it up for your own peace of mind and health. And so, as you speed up, just remember you can do that again if you need to. Don't be in a hurry to achieve your dreams. A day to play with your kids and relax. Your dreams will still be there tomorrow. So, how about that? What have you been putting off doing? Do you need to take a day off to do something, to focus on something or somebody? And I always think about Beth and Charles. What if, Beth, do you need to take an afternoon off and take Charles somewhere? You know, um, because he's going to see less and less of you if you go back to being a manager. And then I was thinking, Jody, may I mention your score of the week? Because you did such a great deal this week. And I'd love to be able to share it with people if it's okay with you. Yeah. Jody ended up scoring a buffet, uh, a tall boy, I think. And, anyway, it's a whole group of furniture from an upscale house. And they gave it away for free. And like me with the cubies, all she had to do was to arrange the transport. And now she has a house full of new to her furniture, and it's beautiful furniture. And the other thing I said to her, if you find all that wooden furniture too dark, that's what paint is for. And I don't know if any of you have done that, but I remember scoring some really useful furniture one time, but boy, it was dark. I think it came out of the 70s. And I literally took a month or so and I repainted the whole thing in 2 coats of bright white. And I want to tell you, it looked completely different and it changed the room completely. But I had to let go of the fact I was painting wood. You know what I mean? Because some of you are still, yeah, but it's wood. You don't want to paint over wood. It's so beautiful. And I'm going, it's more beautiful in my life if it's light. And it's still going to last me a lifetime because it is really good wood. How about this one? Will Willingdon said, poetry can really slow a man down. Oh, Jody's giving me the update here. It's a tall boy, a dresser, a sleigh bed, a nightstand, and a buffet, all for free. Isn't that wonderful? And Jeannie's saying, congratulations, Jody. Sounds like a beautiful furniture. Free is great. Yes, I found out that there is a system here in the community that I didn't know about. I have a big box where I'm throwing stuff that I was going to give to the diabetes people. But what I've discovered is there is a system in my community here. And what they do is they just put things out, right? And it's like, I'm amazed the things that they put out and they disappear overnight. It's like magic. It really is quite surprising. It's just like magic. And then occasionally you'll see something that's put out and it says, if you'd like to leave $10 under the mat, that would be great. And guess what? They do. They're not saying you have to. And, you obviously have to check that because, somebody else might come and take the $10. But, so it's just like, I'm thinking maybe I will seal up a coffee can and make it into a money box, you know what I mean? And then strap it, Sal, chain it to a post and go, and by the way, seal the lid and then say, by donation and see if people do actually put anything in. Whatever, I'm certain some will and some won't. I've got an awful lot of crud I could get rid of that way and make money, maybe. How many of you can relate to this one? After we did that Soul Sunday in the garden, he said, I spent a lifetime in the garden one afternoon. How many of you can just, in the moment, just be in a garden? And know that anytime you want to, you can just literally lie there, close your eyes, and walk through the garden of your dreams. You can create it, you can water it, you can even weed it if it gives you pleasure. But you will be amazed what it does to your blood pressure and your heart rate. One of the things that always stuns my doctor is that my heart rate, my resting heart rate. And for any of you who've got a watch that tells you that, you would like to know that my resting heart rate, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I'm going to cough and sneeze. That my resting heart rate at the moment is 63. It averages up in the high 50s, which for somebody of my age is pretty amazing. And I think the reason is that I slow myself down. Thank you for the, bless you, Jody. Thank you. You know, I slow myself down. Jeannie's saying that she went with masks to an estate sale. Yeah, to a house that York's, that's her husband, grandparents used to live in. They didn't buy anything. They just went and saw the place that they hadn't, that York hadn't seen in 60 years. Isn't that beautiful? And so, you know, there's so many things you can do for free. And how many people were in the house, do you think, Jeannie? I've got an estate sale in my storage shed. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Sal, why don't you sell it on eBay? Well, you know, you got to think about this a little bit, just a tad. All right, so you got to got to take pictures of it and put it up on eBay, and then sell it, and then pack it, and then go mail it, or insure it, right? And then in you go. I probably won't make a lot more than I would by donation. Right, so Jeannie's saying there were only about 15 people in the house. And they were going in and out with masks. So that was a pretty safe entertainment for you. And I know from what you told me privately that, York really had a wonderful memory time just doing that. And I think that's wonderful. How about this one? If there's one thing that I have repeatedly and rather foolishly forgotten to schedule into my life, it is to create times where it's not scheduled. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Have you got times in your day where you can just do what you want to? I call that most of my day. It's just like, yeah. But what I'm trying to do now is to spend more of my day making sure that that light doesn't fall off. To spend more of my day, in fact, focused, because I have the opposite of that problem. I seem to spend a lot of time unfocused and spinning my wheels rather than focused and getting certain things that I want done. I get lots done, but it's not the stuff that I want to do. And so I want to make sure I find a balance on that, just like a little bit more focus. And what I'm now doing is saying, and then I'm going to sit for an hour with my feet up to help as you know, I have a bit of problem with my legs at the moment. And during the time that I have my feet up, I can edit, I can answer emails, I can do those sort of things, but I literally am setting a timer that I don't get off the couch with my feet up for an hour. And then I'm allowed to go do like, like a bet all over the place. And then after the next hour, I come back and I rest. Resting is sitting down and doing stuff, but with my feet up. So it actually has worked very well. You'll be pleased to know I totally got rid of my edema. In fact, I'm quite surprised at how well that has worked in just, what was it, Jody? A couple of days I did that, and just my edema just disappeared. And so obviously I've been doing that wrong. I also made sure that I'm doing more time wearing shoes that support my arches, because I think part of my problem is I've got fallen arches. Yep. And so, this is about, let me just step by step start doing the right things again. And I did get out and walk twice this week. So that is also important, right? Yeah, the funny thing is, Jeannie, as I keep saying, sitting and complaining about the edema does not fix it. Doing the right things fixes it. And, wearing the right shoes fixes it. Resting fixes it. The Achilles tendons are so much less painful after just 2 days. You will also remember that this week I had problems with my blood sugar. My morning blood sugar was into the 7s in Canadian. Jody will let me know what that 7 range is in American. I don't know it off by heart, and she's really good at doing that math. But it's like I looked at it and I said, I don't like that. Now I can just go, oh well, I've got diabetes. Why don't I just accept it? And I'm going, no, I'm pre-diabetic, and if I can keep it below 7, I will stay pre-diabetic. So I need to change what I'm doing. I'm doing something wrong again, and I'm BSing myself. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying that would be my 7 range is too high. And Jody's saying once it gets over 126, it's too high. And that's when I wake up in the morning. During the day, it goes all the way down. No problem at all. But it just does this little number on me at night. And thank you to was it Sandy or Isabel that wrote to me about that and the morning effect thing? I was so appreciative to be reminded of that. And, but if I have that, sometimes your blood sugar just bumps up on its own, and it's called the morning effect or something. But if I know that that's what my blood sugar does, I need to be more careful at night. Beth is saying, is pre-diabetic diagnosis, does it have complications also? You bet it does, yeah. There is some neuropathy with that, and, but quite honestly, if I look at it, I'm learning more and more, Beth, how to eat better. I'm not at your level yet, but I don't know if you saw it, but I had such fun with I bought myself a little bento box. Is it a bento box? And one of the things I did this week is go, this is my lunch. I can fill up the bento box. But this is the fruit, right? And this bit in this corner is the protein. And these are the carbs. There's 2 little things in the center. I'm allowed to put carbs in there, but see how little I can put in. And then this one over here, it's obviously the vegetable one. All right, so Sandy's saying that dawn effect that I suffer from could also be protein. If you eat it late at night, it can affect you much later. Okay. So there I am thinking I need to eat protein instead of a carb. And I could be shooting myself in my foot with that. It would be better to have another bento box, right? Where it's nicely balanced. All right, so Niesh is saying, Mama Sal, I'm still wondering if indeed I am diabetic because those particular medications, the metformin, makes me drowsy. But now that I stopped taking them, I'm not as drowsy. Why did you stop taking it? It is not a good idea if you are diabetic to stop taking metformin. So I need to know why did you decide to stop taking it? It could be very dangerous to your health to stop taking it. So you're not a stupid woman, Niasha. So I just want to know what caused you to stop taking it. I am not. Oh, okay. So Niasha's saying I was just fed up with sleeping all the time and feeling drowsy. Then you need to talk to your doctor about that, because maybe he has got you on too much and that you don't need to stop it. You just need to do less. I also would find out whether it has helped lower your blood sugar or your blood glucose, or whether you need to do more adjustments in your diet. All right. So Jody's also saying it's not a good idea to stop, and your doctor needs to know. Yeah. So I understand your good reason. All right. It sounds to me like you maybe want to talk to your doctor about, is this too strong a dose? Because this is what's happening to me. Yeah. And so does Sandy, right? All of us that are diabetic or pre-diabetic are going, it's not a good idea to stop taking it. But your blood sugar could also cause you to be sleepy. Yep. So, and it sure did with me. I found I was very lethargic. So something is not quite right, Nyasha. That doesn't mean to stop taking the medication. That means it's time to re-talk to your doctor. All right. And just say to him, something's not going quite right. I know that, this was meant to help me, but this is what happens when I take it. And he needs to know that, because that could be a very important part of his jigsaw puzzle about finding out what actually is going on with you. All right. So we will give you an adult bonus point if you get to talk to your doctor. That's your challenge now. And right. If you're running high, you will feel sleepy. Yeah. The interesting thing is that she's saying when she takes the metformin, she gets sleepy, but when she doesn't, she's not sleepy. Isn't that interesting? So that's what makes me think there's an overdose somewhere. Yeah, but you understand that you might not be drowsy anymore, but you might be putting your body at risk more. That there's a balance there. So that's why you need to talk to your doctor. Yeah. I actually don't have to take it. My doctor said to me, if I can change my diet enough to keep my A1C, the amount of sugar running through my blood under that figure I was talking about earlier, then he's not going to ask me to go on metformin. All right. So in other words, I got a choice: control my eating and not take it, or if I can't control it, then I need drugs to control it. Yeah, I know, Jody. Jody's saying check the light. It's falling down again, isn't it? Thanks, Jody. So Jody's saying it's super important that they know you've stopped taking the medication. I quite agree. All right, Nyasha. So there you go. That's your challenge. Can you be an adult and talk to your doctor? That's important. And also, Beth is saying you can ask your doctor for an alternative medicine, maybe. I always ask if I can change my lifestyle in any way to control it. Yes, and that's what I did as well, Beth. And he said, Sal, you did this. I used to take heart medication. I don't know if you guys know that. And I did say, is there any way I can get off heart medication? He said, yep, you can do the right things and, you will get off it. So I said, thank you. And Beth, the only time I realized that maybe I'd done the right things was because he took my my blood pressure and he looked at me and then he took it again. And he said, have you been trying to drop your blood pressure? And I said, yeah. And he said, you've succeeded. Stop taking the medication immediately. But come in your next week. I want to make sure that it's solid. And then he did that for 4 weeks. I went in, I think, every week or every other week. And after I proved that I could keep it there. And I have managed to keep my blood pressure under control ever since. And as you heard, my resting heart rate it is in the high 50s, which for somebody of my age, my average is in the high 50s, which for somebody of my age is really, it's sort of close to athlete status. Now, I'm not a runner, but I do stay I stay pretty calm a lot of the time. All right, so Jody's saying, Nyasha, we just want to support you on this. And we have, it's for the benefit of your health, and we care. Yeah. And you know what Jody's like? She more than cares. She's going to be, worried now. So do me a favor, Nyasha, talk to your doctor so we can shut Jody up, because otherwise the mother hen will be clucking all over the place. Jeannie's saying that several years ago I stopped my high blood pressure medication. When it ran out, I wound up in the ER with stroke-like symptoms. I was young and foolish, but I've never done that again. I did not have a stroke. Yeah. So think about that, right? We can control some things. By the way, just so that you know, I also am on cholesterol. And I asked, is there any way I can change that and not take the medications? Can I change it with diet? And he actually said that he didn't think so. He thought I would need to be on cholesterol medication for the rest of my life. And I'm, again, part of me says, I'm pretty sure that if I continue to eat right, bit by bit, as I'm doing, that it probably is going to lower my cholesterol, especially if I'm taking things like fiber and stuff. Stopping a medication abruptly can be so dangerous. I know. I wonder if Nyasha knows that. Okay. Nyasha's saying she's got an appointment in September. That's if they be seeing me. I want to see, can you not do a telephone call with your doctor? Tell them you need to talk to somebody about your medication. That's an important one. Nyasha, they will talk to you on the phone. Okay. So please call them and let them know you need to talk to a doctor. Yeah. Beth is saying, I had a total hysterectomy when I was 32. So did I. And the doctor tried to give me hormones. I decided that the pill to help me with the hot flushes had too far greater risk of long-term side effects. My body rules. Yes, I must admit, I did take the medications after mine. And, maybe I have got long-term side effects. I'm not sure. But I think I was about 36 when I had mine. It was, I did not enjoy that time. I don't remember that being fun. So, how about this one? My new deliberate and slower pace has created a higher quality in my experiences. Have any of you found that? I really wanted to give a thank you to Bernice. You know, Bernice is one of those wonderful people. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you, honey. How's your mom doing? Bernice is just an amazing person for me because she has the ability to send me before and after pictures of things that she is tidying up. And, you know, I decided that I am, going to do the same thing with her. So I found, my deck is something I want to work on. And so what I did is I took the picture, that none of you, I know you all want to see it now, right? God, it's not pretty, people. It's not pretty. This is a section of my deck where I throw all my unpacking stuff. Now, that's what it looked like yesterday. And today I've already done some time with it, and it's looking a lot better already. But the trick is, and I really want to tell you something, that this is why I thank Bernice, because the trick is take a picture of what it is you want to tidy up. Don't forget the rest of the room. All right, just take a picture. And you'll be amazed. That's the bit you concentrate on. All right, let's see what happened here. And I was talking about that. All right, Nia's just saying, all right, now I'm wondering if it's because of me constantly pushing each and every day, my vital signs are being increased, showing diabetic-like symptoms. No, it's what you're putting in your mouth that's showing the diabetic symptoms. Okay? It's, or something completely different. I don't think hard work creates that amount, all right? Hi, Erin. How are you doing, honey? And Erin's saying, has anybody noticed that when you have an infection and or are sick in bed that your blood sugar gets higher? Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes the combination of certain medications can do it as well, right? And I'm know that a lot of my viewers know about this stuff more than I do. I just wish I were better qualified to tell you. I don't know, Erin. Maybe it's a discussion you want to have with your doctor. So I love Nada's sunshine stuff. That's really you. Oh, Nada's saying I love before and after videos. Okay, well, that's what I thought I would do is take a picture every day as it gets more and more clean, and then I'll put it into one of the videos. I'd be so embarrassed. But it just is what happens because what I do is I get the boxes, I throw the boxes out onto the deck, and I think I'm tidying them up, but really. All right. So, right. So Jeannie's saying I'm lying down when I'm listening. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. That's something that I'm saying that we need to spend a bit more time just, taking that time for ourselves. All right. So Beth is saying, when is someone supposed to start asking about checking blood sugar at the doctor's office? I think, Beth, is there an age or something? I quite honestly found that they checked it when my symptoms added up to I have a problem. That's when I think that they might have checked it occasionally, but I suddenly started to have a lot of sleepiness problems, which, funny enough, I relate to what Nyash was saying, but that created it. So I had all sorts of things. I was very fatigued. I was, shaky. I felt like I was going to faint a lot and those sort of things. So Erin's saying, I'm going to the urologist next week, and to try and figure out how to get rid of these constant infections. Yes, I'm glad to hear that, Erin, because they are so painful and they're not fun for you, I'm sure. And Jody's saying, Beth, they should be running that with your regular blood panels. That sounds like a guilt word. I think maybe, Beth, ask your doctor whether he is running that on a regular basis, because he might already have been doing it. I've got a feeling that mine was being checked, but mine changed dramatically over the course of about 6 months. All right, so Beth is saying, I'm worried about my husband. He's sleepy all the time and has gained weight. And has not been taking his regular blood pressure or thyroid meds. Right, so why not? Why is he not taking the medications he's meant to be on? So, it could be a combination of all sorts of things. Yeah. That sounds like, forgive me on this one, Beth, but a little bit childish. You think he might be depressed? Yeah, he might well be. But, the thing is this, that he's also, and if he is depressed, he's probably going to be in denial of that. And I have to admit, Beth, that a friend of mine, I'm not a doctor, but I've been in depression. I'm pretty aware of what it looks like when it starts to spiral. And a friend of mine started to show all those symptoms. And I said, I really would like you to make an appointment to see your doctor, and I want to come with you. And she said, why? I said, I think you're depressed. And I want to be there when he asks you the questions, because I'm your friend. And if you answer the way that I think you're going to, I'm going to let him know what my observation of you is. So he gets both sides of the story. If they don't agree, he can make a decision as to which one he wants to believe. And I went with her and I sat there, and he said, okay, what are you in for? Well, she said, Sal seems to think I'm depressed. And I'm going, and I said, I'm not a doctor. And so, but I said, I want to be here because I want to make sure that you get her version of stuff. And then I want to tell you what I'm observing. And it was really interesting because he asked her the first question, and bless her heart, she went, blah, 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 and I went, what you're not hearing is that also this, and really? Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. And then he asked the second question, and the answer came back, and he looked at me and I went, yep. What you're not hearing is da, and da. And he looked at her and said, is that true? And she said, actually, yeah. And it went on and on. And at the end of it, he said, that's a good friend you've got there. And she said, yeah. He said, I understand why she wanted to come with you. And it's not about being nosy or anything other than she wanted to make sure that I got the right information so that I could medicate you properly. And I went, yeah. He said, thank you. I said, it's my pleasure. I love her dearly. I don't want her to be sick. I've been there. I know what it's like. So all right, so that's interesting. There's some conversation going on about Erin's stuff that I don't want to repeat because they've asked me not to. But, it's just like, I love it that the viewers help support one another like this. Jody's saying, I'm sleepy when my thyroid is sluggish. And of course, depression is a biggie with too much sleep. Yes. So there's always the question, do you know how much sleep is normal for you, right? And if you are sleeping way more than that, there's something wrong. Quite simple, right? I actually have 1 day a week where I allow myself to sleep as long as my body wants to. Do any of you do that? Funny enough, it's normally a Monday. But today, for example, my alarm went off at the normal time, and I turned over and went back to sleep, and I didn't get up again until midday today. I had 8.5 wonderful hours of sleep. Lauren's saying, I know when I'm starting to get depressed because I withdraw and sleep a lot. Yeah, Lauren. And Lauren also knows that we know it too. See, that's what friends do, right? So if I notice that Lauren's not interacting much, what do I know is going on? She's withdrawn. Why has she withdrawn? She's not a happy camper. Why not? She's not doing anything about it, right? So then I will start talking to her. Oh, interesting. Lauren says, you guys catch it before I do. You see, Jody and I are like a depression net for Lauren, right? We know her pretty well. And we know her new normal routine, when she talks to us, when she doesn't, when she checks in, when she tells us how much sleep she's getting and when she doesn't. All those sort of things. It's funny because if she starts to go off that normal pattern, then we start going, okay, what's going on? All right. Beth is saying, the day I allow myself to sleep as long as I want, I suddenly wake up at 6 a.m. for no reason. On days I work, I don't want to get up. Yeah, isn't it funny? Sandy is saying, you're a great friend, Sal. I think you'd do the same for me, wouldn't you, Sandy? If I happen to be somebody you cared about, I've got a feeling that you'd have the strength to be able to say, Sal, I don't know how to tell you this nicely, but you're BSing yourself. and I don't want you to be any more sick than you already are. And I can see that you're spiraling. So, you and I are going to have a chat to your doctor. Jody's saying, I'm normally a chatterbox too, so you guys know if there's something up. Yeah. I also, Jody, one of your great skills is the duck. I've noticed, all right? You can ask Jody a question, and she doesn't lie. She has great integrity, but she ducks the question quite well. So if I find Jody ducking certain questions or ducking certain information that she normally gives, what do I know? All right. All right. So Jeannie's saying, I go to bed about 9:30, but get up every day at 5:15 a.m. I take the dog out for half an hour. Yeah, it's amazing that you have that routine. I don't go to bed until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And because I can. By the way, I saw a great movie last night. I have to find the name of it again. But it's really strange that every now and then you see a movie and you go, how come nobody ever talked about this movie? Right? And because it actually is one of those movies that you're going, wow, I got to watch that again because I know I missed a lot in that movie. It's just like you're so busy trying to work out what's going on, and then life itself. Thank you, Jody. By the way, it's not a comedy. It's a two boxes of Kleenex type movie. But it just had such great messages in it all the way through. And it was written by Dan Fogelberg, for those of you who know him. I didn't know that he wrote a movie, but apparently he did. So, but it literally did the gamut of emotions. It was funny in places, it was heart-wrenching in places, and so forth. So, to me, that's a great movie, and it had lots of messages in it as well, which to me is a great movie. If you think about it, the movies you remember are the ones that had all the different emotions probably in it. And I literally sat back and went, wow, I'd have to say that that was one of the best movies I've seen in decades. And then I went to go and see what the critics had to say about it. And the critics didn't like it. Yes, Dan Fogelberg, the musician, exactly. He wrote it. And, but I want to tell you something. I think for anybody that understands soul, anybody that understands more than the superficial, it's a great movie. It was said that some of us take our time. If we knew that we were rich, I'll try that again. Some of us would take our time if we knew that we were rushing to our deaths. There is this wonderful balance between doing enough and doing too much. But whatever makes you happy, I think. And I've always said, this is just an interesting thing for me, I can always tell my mental health by the state of my house. So, do any of you understand what I'm saying? So when I looked at that picture, let me get back to it. Yeah, when I looked at that picture, what do I see? Chaos. And that's what my week was. It was chaos. So obviously I've been throwing things out there and not tidying stuff up. So it was time to focus on that. But then again, I took this picture this week and I still stop and smell the roses, and it does smell beautiful. And I don't know if you noticed, but I used it for the thumbnail of today's broadcast. So one of the ways I balance myself is I beat up on myself when I look at that nyaga outside my craft room. But you know what's been happening in my craft room? I got lots of excuses. I just need to focus and get it tidied up. Right. Beth is saying my favorite movie is Out of Africa with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. Yes. And, I want to tell you something, Beth. I might have mentioned this to you before, but when it started with the line, I had a farm in Africa, I started to cry because I did when I was in Africa. And I think I cried most of that movie, Beth. That was like a 2 or 3 box, Kleenex box for me, that movie. And until the very end, where it ended with the words, I had a farm in Africa. And it was just like, I can also remember when I was quite young, in my 20s, I went to see the musical Don Quixote, and I cried nearly the whole way through that production in London. And it was all about to dream the impossible dream. Right? And I once did a speech, and I took a version of that, to dream the impossible dream. And what I did is I used the Luther Vandross version, where he says it very slowly. He will sing to dream the impossible dream, and then there was a gap. And then, to fight the impossible fight. And what I did was I filled in the gaps with a dedication to somebody that was in the audience whose wife was dying from cancer and sitting right next to him, and she was in her final days, but she came to this particular event. And I dedicated that to them, to dream the impossible dream, to fight the impossible fight. Because to me, it was important that they knew that it takes great courage to dream the impossible dream or to fight the impossible fight. But when we do, and we have a number of our viewers that are really good at it, when we do, we lead better lives, and the people around us lead better lives. Kez is saying, hi, everybody. I totally understand about having a clean house and a dirty house. I feel like when it's dirty, I stop caring about myself as much as I should, and I find it hard to find the right balance. Actually, I see it the other way, Kez, just so you know. I sometimes don't notice it's happening. That is my benchmark. I look at it and I go, Sal, you're out of control. Look at the deck. You are out of control. You are, spinning your wheels. You're in the hamster wheel somewhere. Now get control. It's time. Oh, interesting. Jeannie's saying one of her favorite movies is The King of Hearts. I don't think I've ever seen that, so I'll make a note of it. Anybody else seen it? Okay. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So, I look at it. I did say king. Maybe you heard it differently, but I did say King of Hearts, I think. So one of the things, Kez, that I have found, it's really useful. Two things give me a heads up that I need to look after myself a bit better. One is mess, if I see a mess like that. And the second one is when I start resenting things. When I start hearing myself say, that's not fair, I go, whoa, wait a minute. What's not fair? And I start working through it and going, what am I not doing? All right. Because if I'm starting to resent things, I am starting to blame people. And if I'm starting to blame people, I'm not letting go of stuff. I'm not dealing with it or letting it go. So it's really interesting. Oh, interesting, Jeannie. She's saying the difference between sanity and madness. Yes. I often heard that some of the happiest people are people in mental institutions. Well, in the days when we still have them. Beth is saying, I'm the opposite. When my house gets messy, I know I am making myself the priority. Yes, Beth. I don't need to be perfect, just happy. You see, and that is the important thing, that we each know what our triggers are. And they are different. They're the opposite. Look at that. Beth's and mine are totally the opposite. But, we know what they are. That is the important thing, that we know what they are. And therefore, when I see it, I go, it's time to focus. Now, Beth goes, it's time to lose some focus, right? Because her focus is so incredibly clear. That is her difference. Mine, let me show you what my focus looks like. Hang on a second. I've learned that instead of running around, I just keep dropping bits of paper with notes on it. And then at night, I literally look at all the bits of paper. They've all got little reminders of things. And at night, I'll sit down and I will document these notes, right? Their ideas, their things I need to do, whatever. And, I try to get them into some sort of order, but it's amazing how creative my mind is. It's almost scary. If I could do just a quarter of what I put down on paper, it would be wonderful. I wanted to ask you actually, how many of you saw the two videos that I put up, the short ones, like the one on the QBs and the one on the updates? And I want to know, did you enjoy them? What did you like about them? Should I do more like that, do you think? What I am going to start looking at is actually taking the longer broadcasts that we do and taking small parts of it out and putting them into smaller videos for people that, because people don't know what we do in the broadcast. And I think some people, get scared of a very long broadcast. The interesting thing is that you guys are incredible. I look at how much time you spend with me, and I am so in awe of that. I really am. So, Jeannie loved the cubies. What did you love about it, Jeannie? And I think, can you believe that 2-minute video took me, I think, 2.5 hours to edit? Right. Oh, I will still do both, Sandy. You know what I'm saying? What I want to do is, so don't be surprised if you see the footage, bits of the footage from the long ones appear as shorter videos. Because what I want to do is to be able to take the best of them and just put them together for people who might have missed them and don't have the time to watch it. Jeannie's saying it was fun about the beer as the reward. You got the prize. It's quite funny, Jeannie, because that's, I could have done that video in a very different way, but I wanted to make it amusing to you guys. And I hope I succeeded in that, which was, okay, I need, chapter 1, the background. And then chapter 2, the bribe. I'm going, I think they will like that. So I want to do, a few more a bit like that, where you get the the lead up to the actual. But didn't it look pretty once it was in? And the whole thing about, somebody said to me, I know that when I took the beer about an hour before they were due to go, and the guy said to me, "Oh, that's smart. You're making sure we haven't forgotten, and you're reminding us this is the prize you get for what you're about to do." And they said, "Why wouldn't you give it to us afterward?" And I said, no. This is about, you already got the beer. Don't even think of not doing it. Because karma will get you. And it was really interesting. Yeah, I'm glad you like the music. I actually enjoy finding the right music for the drama of what it is that I want to produce. So maybe that's an interesting point that you raised there, Jeannie. Part of the reason that takes 2 hours or 2.5 hours to edit, never mind upload and do everything else, the reason it takes that long is that I've got to find just that little bit that's right? And then the graphics take forever. That takes a lot of creativity to do that. And then go find the music that will best represent what's going on. So I'm glad that you enjoy it. That's good to hear. Sandy's saying, I'll admit, first of all, that's a great thing, Sandy. I'll admit that there are times I get quite lonely in the house full of people. Joining this family has really helped. Big hugs to you all. Okay, so Sandy, I want to tell you so that you know, we are very selfish people. Because meeting you has changed our lives for the better. And so, it's like, yeah, it's nice to know that we've helped you, but quite honestly, you probably have no idea how much you have helped us. It's important to understand that. And what I'm hoping actually is to challenge you and Isabel, to come up with some fun things to do with food for those of us. I keep saying that what worries me is being pre-diabetic or diabetic is bad enough in the regular day-to-day. How are we going to do this when we can't get fresh fruit or fresh vegetables, or when we can't, so I'm looking for you guys to be my inspiration here and to work out ways that we might be able to do this on a very limited budget. I understand that eating keto is a good idea, but that's expensive. And it contains a lot of expensive things these days. So when I say it's expensive, it revolves around good quality foods. And so what if we can't get them? What are we going to do? Right. And Jodi's saying, Sandy, I have lonely times too. I'm so glad to be in this extended family. I had a terrible lonely week last week. And you will see the video once I focus on, I've got a few that I've got to get to before that one, but, where I literally was in tears. And then I realized there were triggers behind that. There was more to the story. I wasn't just being lonely. I had been triggered in some way. And it took me a while to process it all and work out what it was, but I did. And I was, funny enough, I was talking to Benji this week, and I was talking to him about what had happened. And he said, have you thought about taking a complete break away from DearMamaSal? And I said, no. And I said, you've got people in your house that you talk to every day. The DearMamaSal people are my people. I talk to them every week. When nobody else is talking to me, I know the viewers are going to be there. So no, I'm not giving that up for anybody. I'm very selfish, aren't I? Winston Churchill once said, we shape our buildings, and afterwards our buildings shape us. In the broader context, we have shaped our technology to achieve greater productivity and responsiveness. And now our technology is shaping our behavior, whereas we are always on demand. This has led to a culture where technology plays the greatest role in defining who we are. How about that? I've noticed that there is so much pressure, when I got to admit something. Right now, as I look at one of my many tabs that are open, I have 15,919 emails that I have not opened. Now, part of me wants to just bulk click them all and go get rid of them. Right? Why don't I do that? Because I'm scared I might lose something that I want, that I missed. But something, I'm never going to get to them. And that's how it got up to 15,919. Most of them are things I don't want. So, by the way, before I forget, and I'm about to do the countdown, before I forget, did you hear that Simon Cowell had an accident? And maybe he's been quite severely injured. All right, so let's do the countdown. For those of you who celebrate Easter, and I think most of you do, Easter is 7 months and 3 weeks away, roughly. Lent is just 6 months away. Wow. Valentine's Day is just 6 months and a week away. Christmas is 137 days away. We need to get our cards into the mail just 3 months and 3 weeks away, if you're doing that. Thanksgiving, for those of you in the US, is 3 months away and a couple of weeks. And for those of us in Canada, as you know, we have ours in October, it's just 2 months away. I wonder what we'll be doing for Thanksgiving this year. So, for those of you who've been following my journey, before I say that, did you know that yesterday, it's Friday, was Midsummer's Day? And for those of you like Lauren sitting in Southern Hemisphere, it was midwinter day. Lauren, you're moving towards spring now, honey. Life's going to get brighter for you. I moved here 7 months ago exactly to the day. And if you remember, I moved in a month before I actually owned it. I rented it for a month. I have lived here for 7 months. Does it look like I've been living here for 7 months? Yes, but I've still got so many boxes. So you know what I'm seriously thinking of doing, people? I am an artist and I have paint. I am seriously considering taking the boxes, opening them, make sure I know what's in them, documenting it a second time, but then painting the boxes white so they will look like decor in my house. Until I have cleaned out the storage. And then I can probably put quite a lot of them in there until I sell what's in them. But I must admit that I'm still unpacking boxes, just so you know. I'm not doing a great job of it, but I am still unpacking it because this week I unpacked something that was in a box and I got it down to one small box about this big. I was really proud of myself. Everything else I put away. And then I got left with this sort of little pile of stuff that I didn't want to throw away, but, like now, and I put all of that in one other box and then I documented what was in it. And yes, just saying, Sal, in order to scale down your email box, just proofread the titles. And depending on those you'd rather throw out than keep, you can always mark it as read. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So to me, I'm thinking I am that creative. It would really be an idea to paint those boxes white and have a wall of them. That's what Yvonne and I were discussing, to just have a wall of white boxes that, I can get to them if I want them. Yes, I heard that Simon Cowell broke his back. Yeah, I did know that. He was riding an electric bike. There's nothing against electric bikes. It's just like, it was very sad was my point, that he broke his back. So let's hope that he didn't, keep an eye on that. And again, isn't it amazing to all who much is given, much is taken. And so you can imagine for somebody that's so much of a go-getter as Simon Cowell is, he's going to have to slow down whether he likes it or not. And he's going to learn a lot of new lessons. And Jeannie, I keep thinking about all the new lessons that you and York have to learn. And I think it's very important that we all understand life has an interesting way of teaching us what we need to know. Life has an interesting way of slowing us down. Life has an interesting way of making us re-look at things. And when you can see that happening in your life, life is a lot less scary. You just realize there is a reason for this. I just want to be more aware. And so as we go into this week, right, make time to unfocus. Put your feet up. And when I say unfocus, I found that even when I have my feet up for that hour, you cannot believe how many times I want to get up, right? Oh, I need to go. No, you don't need to go, Sal. You just need to sit here and do things that don't require you to do anything for an hour. You can do anything you like on the computer, but you just need to get your feet up. It's good for your health. And then you can do whatever you like, and then I'll go out, but I set an alarm for the runaround time. And then I force myself. And I want to thank Jody for supporting me in that, because it's really, important. Oh, Jeannie's saying tonight we had John, that's York's son, I believe, over, and we had fulfilled hamburgers and hot dogs. Did they enjoy the oh, good. York and John love the hamburgers filled with sharp cheese. There you go. I want to tell you, it spoils you, Jeannie. I think I said that when I was doing the demonstration. Once you've had filled hamburgers, one that isn't filled suddenly is just like a hamburger. I mean, they're hamburgers. And by the way, the big one that I did, well, two of them, I did two big ones. I cut that into 4 and put them into my meal preps for the week, so that I can have quarter of a hamburger, and salad or whatever. And so I thought you would like to know that when I actually looked at it and I went, yeah, that was quite a big hamburger. And I cut it in half and I looked at it and I went, that's still a big hamburger. The guys had a big one each. Yes, quite normal. Quite normal. But, we're trying to eat less. I asked Jody something, and I wonder whether any of you are interested in this. And Jody's saying an unfilled hamburger becomes so yesterday's news. Yeah, that's why I did try and warn you on that one. All right, because my experience has been that anybody who has tasted one of my filled hamburgers, if ever I say I'm doing hamburgers, or that's what they filled, I go, yeah, okay. But I do recommend that you make the patties ready to be filled. And if you freeze your patties first, some people do that, you make them and freeze them. Just freeze the bits that contain and then the tops separately, so that when you thaw them, they'll be ready to go, but you can just put into order, because I want to tell you, people think they are so special, right? But yeah, I literally will go, what would you like in yours? What? Well, you've got choices. You can have brie cheese, you can have caramelized onion, you can have, and they'll start to tell me, and I said, no, let me finish the list. Make sure you get what you really would like. And I have had some amazing concoctions. Some people wanted peanut butter, whatever. But it's, but you can actually put, think about that as well. You could put HP sauce is a great one. People love the taste of that. But, you can put some liquid in there as well if you want. Okay, so here we go. Yes, isn't that interesting? Sandy's saying, it's Murphy's Law. I always remember something that you need to do elsewhere when you sit down. Yes, how many of you, and Jody's saying, yeah, when she goes to the washroom. I have a notepad and paper in the washroom for that reason. And I know that you will not be surprised to hear that. I work when I go to the washroom. I do research in the washroom. And then sometimes I end up that I'm doing so much research in there that I end up cutting off the circulation to my legs. And I'm certain you've never done that. But then remember, and I do remember, and this is from the bottom of my heart, when I cut off the circulation to my legs and I'm complaining because I can't get up properly, I literally think of Lauren, and I think of Erin, and I think, aren't I lucky to have pins and needles in my legs? At least the circulation is going to come back and I can stand on them again. You see, that's how I keep balance. And so then I will bash my legs to force the circulation and everything else. And then I move on with my life. I am so grateful to have use of them. And that's why I'm doing everything I can to keep having use of them. So everybody, I want you to be aware that slowing down is not necessarily a bad thing. But speeding up is also not a bad thing. So maybe you can try that this week. Let me slow down a bit more and could then speed up a bit more. I found that if I know that I need to get everything done on, as much as possible done in the next half hour, I will move more quickly than if I think I've got all day. Samantha's saying, I've been creeping you all, but unfortunately, I'm too busy to chat tonight, and now I have to run. It's a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful week, Samantha. You can creep us anytime you like. I'm glad that you make the time to join us and be there for us. And thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate it. So thank you, everybody. Jeannie has to go now as well. The men need dessert. Okay. Samantha, we are so delighted that you popped in to let us know you were there. Big hugs to you all. And like the bread, I love you dearly. Take it easy. Understand that whatever you're going through, to some degree, I'm going through it too. I'm not that special. And I am so happy that you are finding what we do helpful to you. So keep being honest, keep telling us what's really going on, because that's how we keep sane. That's how we keep out of depression. That's how we help one another. And keep telling your truth, like Niasha did, right? I've stopped taking the medications. Well, we know there's a good reason. And then we can say, hey, talk to your doctor. Don't stop taking medication. Talk to your doctor, right? Because we all relate to why she did it, right? But the truth is it could be doing her more harm than good. So Niasha, we will be calling you on this one next weekend to find out if you spoke to your doctor. Get on that phone. We love you enough to bug you about that. This is DearMamaSal saying, look after one another, please. More important than it's ever been. Remember to look after yourself. This is DearMamaSal saying, with the glow.